Read it. Read it. You wild bitch.
Sheriff murdered, church meeting bombed. Send your sheriff immediately.
Number 1. Richard Pryor was almost the star. Blazing Saddles could have looked very different. Richard Pryor, one of its co-writers, was originally considered for the lead role of Sheriff Bart. Pryor's sharp wit and comedic brilliance made him a natural fit, but studio executives deemed him too controversial due to his provocative stand-up material. Instead, Cleveland Little was cast, delivering a charismatic and groundbreaking performance. Pryor's influence remained strong in the script, particularly in Bart's defiant humor and the film's satirical edge. Ironically, Pryor later starred in Stir Crazy, 1980, proving he could carry a major studio comedy. Had Pryor played Bart, the film might have been even more politically charged, but Little's suave charm helped balance the absurdity with warmth. Pryor's missed opportunity remains one of Hollywood's great what-ifs, though his fingerprints are all over the movie's boldest moments. Number 2. The original title was much duller. Before Blazing Saddles became a comedy classic, it had a far less exciting working title, Black Bart. Mel Brooks hated it, calling it boring and generic. He wanted something that captured the film's chaotic, anarchic spirit, hence Blazing Saddles, a pun on blazing guns and the absurdity of Western tropes. The title also subtly hinted at the film's boundary-pushing humor, including the infamous campfire fart scene. Warner Brothers initially resisted, fearing audiences wouldn't get it, but Brooks insisted. The final title not only stuck, but became iconic, symbolizing the film's fearless satire. Interestingly, the Black Bart name was later used for a short-lived 1975 TV spin-off starring Lou Gossett Jr., which flopped, proving Brooks was right to ditch the bland original. Number 3. The famous campfire scene was improvised. One of Blazing Saddles' most legendary moments, the campfire farting scene, was almost cut entirely. Test audiences were so shocked by the crude humor that Warner Brothers executives demanded its removal. But Mel Brooks fought fiercely to keep it, arguing that the scene was crucial to the film's irreverent tone. The sequence, where cowboys pass gas after eating beans, was largely improvised, with actors trying to outdo each other in absurdity. Brooks later joked that it was the first time flatulence was used as a character trait. The scene's inclusion broke a major Hollywood taboo, paving the way for future comedies like Animal House and Austin Powers. Today, it's celebrated as a bold, hilarious moment that perfectly encapsulates the film's willingness to offend and entertain. Number 4. Dom DeLuise wasn't the first choice for Buddy Bizarre. The flamboyant director in Blazing Saddles' chaotic finale was originally written with Orson Welles in mind, a nod to his larger-than-life persona. However, Welles turned it down, reportedly finding the role beneath him, though some speculate he feared typecasting after Citizen Kane. Enter Dom DeLuise, whose over-the-top energy made Buddy Bizarre unforgettable. Brooks loved DeLuise's improvisational skills, letting him ramp up the campiness to absurd levels. The character's name, Buddy Bizarre, was a cheeky reference to real-life directors known for eccentricities, and DeLuise's performance, complete with a beret and pretentious monologues, became a highlight. Ironically, Welles later embraced comedy in films like The Muppet Movie, 1979, but his refusal here led to one of DeLuise's most iconic roles. Number 5. The film was almost directed by someone else. Before Mel Brooks took the reins, Blazing Saddles was offered to John Landis, then a rising star in comedy. Landis, who'd later direct Animal House, 1978, turned it down, calling the script too offensive for its racial satire, a surprising move given his own boundary-pushing work. Brooks, undeterred, stepped in, blending slapstick with sharp social commentary. Landis later admitted regretting his decision, especially after the film's success. Interestingly, Brooks's direction was unorthodox. He encouraged ad-libs, let actors break the fourth wall, and even allowed the crew to laugh during takes. This chaotic energy seeped into the film, making it feel anarchic and fresh. Had Landis directed, Blazing Saddles might have been tamer, proof that Brooks's fearless vision was irreplaceable. Number 6. The horses were actually drunk. In the saloon scene where horses belly up to the bar, Brooks wanted absolute realism, so the animals were given non-alcoholic beer to simulate drinking. However, rumors persist that real beer was used to elicit drunken behavior, like swaying and nuzzling mugs. Trainer Rex Peterson denied it, but crew members swore some horses got tipsy. The gag was risky. Animal safety standards were lax in the 1970s, and the American Humane Association reportedly intervened on later sets after hearing about the stunt. Today, the scene remains a surreal highlight, blending Western tropes with Brooks's signature absurdity. Fun fact, the bartender's line, "You've had enough," was ad-libbed when one horse got overly enthusiastic. Number 7, Madeline Kahn's Oscar-nominated role was a parody. Madeline Kahn's Lily von Stupp, a Marlene Dietrich spoof, was so pitch-perfect it earned her an Academy Award nomination. Kahn studied Dietrich's Destry Rides Again, 1939, mimicking her sultry voice and exaggerated poses. The song, I'm Tired, was a last-minute addition when Brooks realized the script needed a showstopper. Kahn's performance, including her fake German accent and deadpan delivery of lines like, it's two, became iconic. Off-camera, Kahn was shy, but Brooks coaxed out her boldness by letting her improvise. Her swooning collapse onto Bart was unscripted. Despite losing the Oscar to Ingrid Bergman, Kahn's role cemented her as a comedy legend and proved parody could be high art. Number 8. The sheriff's gun was loaded with candy. In the meta moment where Bart holds himself hostage, Cleavon Little's prop gun fired licorice bullets, a safety precaution that almost backfired. During rehearsals, the candy pellets stuck to his face, forcing Brooks to reshoot with a modified rig. The scene's brilliance lay in its subversion, a black sheriff outsmarting racists by turning their stereotypes against them. Little's smirk as he threatens himself was improvised, highlighting his character's wit. The licorice gag also mirrored Brooks's playful approach. Even violence became farcical. Decades later, the bit inspired similar meta-humor in films like Deadpool. Fun fact, the gun was a real Colt 45, but the barrel was plugged to prevent accident. Number 9. The film broke the fourth wall before it was cool. The climactic brawl that spills across Warner Brothers studio lots was revolutionary for its time, shattering cinematic conventions with gleeful abandon. Mel Brooks intentionally designed this sequence to destroy the movie itself, having characters burst through film sets, interrupt a Busby Berkeley-style musical number, and even crash into a Gone with the Wind parody. Studio executives were horrified, fearing audiences wouldn't understand the meta-humor, but test screenings proved them wrong. The chaos was meticulously orchestrated. Crew members hid behind facades to toss props, the pie fight required 500 custard-filled pastries, and the demolition of the Western street set was done in a single take. This fourth wall demolition predated Deadpool's meta-comedy by 4 decades and influenced everything from Spaceballs to the Lego Movie. Number 10. Mel Brooks played multiple roles. Never one to resist a good cameo, Brooks inserted himself into wildly different roles. As Governor William J. Lepetomaine, named after a famous flatulous performer, he channeled Louisiana's corrupt Huey Long with manic energy, ad-libbing lines like, "We've got to protect our phony baloney jobs." His second role as a Yiddish-speaking Native American chief was nearly cut for being too niche, but Brooks insisted it stayed, arguing that absurdity transcends language barriers. The chief scene, where he complains about "these damn immigrants" in Brooklyn-accented Yiddish, became a cult favorite. The director later joked that playing multiple characters was his way of getting more screen time, but these roles perfectly embodied the film's anarchic spirit and Brooks's belief that no subject was too sacred for parody. Number 11. The film was almost a musical. Early drafts of Blazing Saddles contained enough musical numbers to qualify as a full-fledged musical, including a production number about railroad workers and a romantic ballad for Bart and Lily. Warner Brothers executives balked, declaring musicals box office poison after expensive flops like Dr. Dolittle. Brooks compromised by keeping just 3 songs. the Oscar-nominated title theme, Madeline Kahn's I'm Tired, written in 30 frantic minutes, and the campfire ballad The French Mistake. The musical elements that remained became highlights, blending Broadway sophistication with Brooks's trademark silliness. Ironically, the film's success helped revive studio interest in musical comedies, paving the way for Grease and Chicago. Brooks later incorporated his unused ideas into History of the World Part 1, proving that, in Hollywood, no good song ever truly dies. It just waits for its moment. Number 12. John Wayne was asked to cameo and refused. Mel Brooks personally sent the script to John Wayne, hoping the Western icon would appear as a grizzled cowboy who endorses Bart's sheriff credentials. The Duke declined, reportedly calling the material too dirty for his image, though he privately admitted to finding it hilarious. This rejection highlighted Hollywood's discomfort with Brooks's brand of satire. While Westerns could depict graphic violence, raunchy humor remained taboo. Brooks later joked that Wayne's prudishness made the film even better. Imagine the Duke in a fart scene. The West would never recover. The incident became emblematic of changing comedic sensibilities. Where Wayne represented old Hollywood stoicism, Blazing Saddles heralded a new era of boundary-pushing humor. Years later, Clint Eastwood would reference this in Unforgiven, showing how Brooks's satire ultimately influenced the genre it mocked. Number 13. The railroad workers were real former inmates. For authenticity, Brooks cast actual ex-convicts from a work release program as the racist railroad workers. These non-actors brought raw intensity to their roles, improvising crude remarks that made Bart's eventual triumph more satisfying. The controversial "Where the White Women At" scene was partly ad-libbed, with Cleavon Little playing off their genuine reactions. Behind the scenes, many workers related to the script's themes of oppression, creating an unexpected bond with the cast. Brooks encouraged this improvisational energy, believing it heightened the satire's edge. The production became a strange equalizer. Hollywood stars working alongside men society had discarded, all united in making something revolutionary. This unconventional casting choice added layers to the film's social commentary, proving that great comedy often emerges from uncomfortable truths. Number 14. The film's success spawned a short-lived TV spin-off. The 1975 TV pilot Black Bart, starring Lou Gossett Jr., attempted to capitalize on the film's popularity by reimagining the premise as a weekly buddy comedy. Lacking Mel Brooks's subversive edge and Cleavon Little's charm, the sanitized version flopped spectacularly. Critics derided its toothless humor, with Variety calling it Blazing Saddles without the blaze. The failure proved the film's magic couldn't be replicated without its fearless satire and willingness to offend. Brooks, who had no involvement, later quipped, "They took out everything that made it funny and wondered why it wasn't funny." The debacle became a cautionary tale about studios misunderstanding what made original properties successful. Ironically, the pilot's sole legacy was inspiring the name of a 1980s blues rock band, while the film's reputation only grew over time. Number 15. It was the first comedy to reference flatulence. The campfire farting scene wasn't just groundbreaking, it was practically revolutionary. Before Blazing Saddles, flatulence was considered too vulgar for mainstream cinema, with even raunchy comedies avoiding it. Studio executives begged Brooks to cut the sequence, fearing it would doom the film. Brooks refused, declaring, "Farts are funny today, they'll be funny tomorrow, they'll be funny 1,000 years from now." His instinct proved correct. The scene brought down test screening audiences and became one of the film's most quoted moments.